Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
All right. Welcome back to Partnership for Profits. I am Will Brooks. I'm your host for today. We're running a little late. We had a little technical snafu, so appreciate you guys bearing with us. Today we are talking with Lucho Crisalle from WorkWorks Academy. Lucho, so glad to have you on the show. We have spoken before about what you guys have going on, and you guys are helping us out with some things too. But we're going to get in today a little bit about what you guys are doing over there, and we're going to talk about AI, which has kind of been a theme here lately. We've been talking a lot about AI with a lot of the folks who've been coming on. So, how you doing, man? I'm glad to see you.
Doing great. Just a little warm here in Vegas. Let's see, it's only 102 right now. So, hey, we're staying indoors.
Oh, really? Well, I'm in Atlanta, and I got you beat. It's 105 here today, my friend.
I lived in Gainesville, Florida for many years, and the humidity, you can have it.
Yeah.
You got me beat, definitely.
I'm staying inside, and the air conditioner's working overtime today. So, Lucho, tell me and tell the folks watching out there a little bit about you and your background and the WorkWorks Academy. Let's get into that a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of let you have the floor here for a few minutes to kind of talk about what you guys are doing.
All right, yeah. So it all started in 1960. No, I'm kidding. So I have degrees in food science, human nutrition, and exercise kinesiology, and I was a semi-pro bodybuilder. So after many years of being a bodybuilder, I went back to school, got my degrees, became a registered dietitian in Gainesville, Florida. And I moved to Torrance, California, where I worked at a hospital in charge of the burn unit, intensive care unit, oncology, and ortho. And after many years of working in the sickness side of the equation, I wanted to work in the wellness or preventative side. So I left and I became the head dietitian for a little health club called Sports Club LA, Sports Club Irvine, which was a fancy, where they had the valet parking, and it was $2,500 to join. They wash your clothes, put them back in your locker. You could see the dietitian, go to the sushi bar, all that stuff. So I developed the first procedural, nutrition a process to do nutrition counseling. And before that, I worked with Tony Robbins for many years. So I learned neurolinguistic programming and all of that stuff. So I combined psychology, or the reason that keeps people from doing things, and a way to reframe that, to use that thing that keeps them from doing it to making them do it. So the reason why you can't becomes the reason why you do. So I wanted to change the world to help prevent people's illnesses through nutrition. And I realized quickly that I couldn't do it on my own. So I developed the first nutrition certification for the health and fitness industry. And then I developed nutrition software. And then we realized that they have all their tools, but they can't market themselves out of a wet paper sack.
Right.
So my wife and I created a 3-day event called Monetize Your Nutrition Knowledge, where we help fitness and health practitioners market their business, because marketing is marketing, right? And over the years, we started working with different companies and different people. We were the sole certifying body for Gold's Gym International, for Max Muscle. But the whole thing came down to marketing. And if you go to our website, whatworksacademy.com, it clearly says your course doesn't make you money, your license doesn't make you money, your degree from Stanford doesn't make you money. The marketing makes the money. Mm-hmm. So it's all about marketing. And it used to be pretty difficult, but now with AI, we can automate a lot of that. For example, we have an AI that does search engine optimization. That used to take 6 months to a year and a half to see any changes. Now we can see it within weeks, and you can monetize that really, really quickly. So it'll do things like fix backlinks. It'll fix all of the headings and all the things on your website without even having to log into your website. And then it does something called the schema, or the schema, depending where you are, which is what gets you listed on Google's front page within 24 hours to 5 or 6 days. So what happened was we realized that marketing is marketing. It doesn't matter if you're selling nutrition, if you're selling law, if you're selling chocolate bunnies. So we decided to move away from the health and fitness. We've been there since 2003. And we've been working with attorneys. My wife, when I first met her, was a legal administrator, and she ran law firms, and she basically babysat attorneys, which they like doing that because they just want to take care of their stuff, and she would handle everything else. So we've known about all of this for many, many years, and now we want to help those attorneys now as our main focus on helping them get clients quickly. One of the things we have also is cold email. I've always been against cold email because it can ruin your domain and all the things. But now there's a way of doing it that is totally different. We had one case study that it takes 30 days to set up the cold email campaigns. And on the second month, they brought in $200,000 worth of new business.
Wow.
Yeah. For a law firm, that's really consistently, not just 1 month and you're done, but every single month going forward.
So you guys are transitioning to working with law firms. I think that's great. That's who we work with too. That is our niche, and we love working with lawyers. And yes, babysitting is a big part of it. Yeah. I hesitate to use that word. Really, what it is that those guys are busy. They're working on cases. They're working on people who need help, and all that other stuff that has to get done, whether it's marketing or whether it's just being an administrator of the firm. Somebody's got to do that work, and they need people like your wife Lisa or marketing companies like us who can come in and kind of take that stuff off their hands. So totally understand that and that need, and it's awesome that you guys are stepping in to help out firms like that. Let's talk about law firms. Let's talk about like what would be the first process that a law firm needs to automate using AI if they want to bring in cases while they sleep. Like what's the first thing they need to do?
Yeah, a couple of things. Most law firms have an answering service after hours that absolutely does nothing. We have an AI employee that can answer the phone either 24/7, or you can set it to answer it after hours if you like. Right. And that AI employee can run the caller through a number of questions. They can pre-qualify them to see if they're the right fit for, I don't know if it's an injury case or if it's divorce, whatever the case may be. Typically, they have a number of questions that they use to qualify the potential customers. So we can have all of that done automatically so that in the next morning when the paralegal comes in, they have all this information ready to go instead of having to call people back and it's a back and forth phone. And unfortunately, right now, we live in a society that stands in front of the microwave and says, hurry up. So let me ask you, what happens if you call a business and they don't answer?
I call the next business.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So most businesses they miss about 37% of the phone calls they make, right? So when we ask them, well, how many phone calls do you get per week? And they go, we get about 100. Okay, well, that's 400 calls a month. So I'm horrible at math. So let's say if it's 50%, right, that's about 200. So let's call it 150. And out of those 150, if you're able to close or enroll or to get X% to hire you, that's another 100 cases that you're missing out on. Yeah. So with our AI taking care of those phone calls and answering it right away, and also with websites, we have our AI on the website because people go to your website and the newer generation doesn't call. What do?
They're using their phone. That's like the AI? Is that like the AI chatbots that you're talking about that they pop up in the corner? Hey, how can I help you? That kind of deal.
Yep. And they can answer questions. They can get their email, their phone number, schedule appointments. In many cases, send them a buy link. We have one of our clients that specializes in subpoenas. They can buy right there from the bot. So so the voice employee is great because not only can it work after hours, but it can also work during business hours. So instead of having your employee answering the phone, you can have the AI answer the phone. It can transfer calls. It can schedule appointments. It can reschedule appointments. It can pretty much do anything and everything a typical receptionist would do at a fraction of the cost. And the benefit is they're never ticked off. They never want vacation. They never have a problem with their husband, wife, boyfriend, or girlfriend. They never come in hungover. They never skip a day or not show up at all. So when you look at the hourly rate that you're paying an employee to only work 40 hours a week, and those 40 hours depend on their mood or their mental state, you're better off with something that is consistently 100% what you want it to be without any issues. And we also not just create them, but we monitor them regularly to update them so that the AI has the right answers to whatever questions may come up.
Very cool. So with the AI phone answering, mm-hmm. they're taking that information from the potential client. Let's say they've been in an accident. They're mm-hmm. on the phone. Hey, I'm on the corner of Main and First, and I just got hit by a truck. They ran a red light, T-boned my car. My ankle's broken. The AI is taking all the information now, inputting it into, I guess, like their case files or whatever case management software that they have at the firm. It's inputting all that stuff in.
Correct. It's putting it into a CRM that we run for them, and then
Okay.
that CRM can send them an email with all that information. But oftentimes people call the attorney, go, "Hey, what do I do? I just got hit by a truck." So the attorney probably has, "Hey, don't agree to the fault of anything. Make sure you get everybody's license. Make sure you get their insurance. Whatever the process is." I don't know. Yeah, I haven't been in an accident in I don't know how many years, but there's definitely a process that most attorneys want that victim, if you will, to follow.
Right.
So we can have the AI do that 24/7, as opposed to, look, these guys are closed, I'm going to call the next guy, or the guy that I see on the bus bench right next to where I got hit.
Well, there's a reason why they put themselves on those billboards. You were talking about cold email. Something that's super interesting to me. It's something that we have, used, and we have been burned on cold emailing and have had domains get burned. So, what you say, you kind of crack the code on it. What's the secret to actually making cold email?
Yeah, so I have the stats here. So we have unmatched delivery. We achieved 94% main inbox delivery rate. So your messages get seen. Number two, it's remarkable engagement. We've seen reply rates as high as 34% and call booking rates at 22%. And this is with one of the law firms that made $200,000. So our clients see returns that generate over $200,000 in their first month. Now, it's actually the second month. The first month is when we set everything up, and we have to warm up the domain, and we never burn your domain. So we handle everything, because if you tried cold email before, you have to have specific servers, you have to have different email addresses, you have to set all of these things up. And most people that get burnt is because they didn't follow all the steps and they didn't know how to do it.
So it's like part of it is instead of using .com, you use like a .io or whatever.
Or it could be a subdomain like, client.attorneyfirm.com or whatever. But we set everything up so you don't have to. So it's a done for you service. The only thing you see is appointment after appointment after appointment on your calendar.
Okay. Right on. So what would you say is the biggest mistake that you see lawyers making when it comes to lead generation? What's the biggest mistake that they're making?
A lot of times it's just those flyers that they mail in, because the problem is that those flyers come in, and just like weight loss, if you're talking, the best way to sell weight loss to or nutrition to is to a fit person, because they already know the value, right? But if you have an obese person and you're going after that market, you have to be in front of their face when a critical thing happens, right? Like they had a heart attack, or their obese wife dies, or their obese husband dies, and they're like, "Oh my God, I gotta change my life." Right. So that's the same problem with sending all these little flyers, is that unless that flyer reaches my house right when I got burglarized or whatever, or injured at work, I'm not going to pay attention to it. So what our AI does is it looks for what we call an in-market lead. Most attorneys will buy leads, but those leads can probably been hammered to death, and they might be 6 years old. You never know. But an in-market lead is somebody who's searching the internet right now for injury attorney Las Vegas, or injury attorney Miami, or injury attorney Atlanta, or whatever you want. And we do is we qualify that lead, we make sure that they are the right one, and then we engage with it. Our AI actually looks at if they did any blog posts, if they did any Facebook posts, and we actually say, "Hey, Will, we just saw that your daughter," if you have a daughter, I'm making this up, or they could say, "Hey, we saw that you're a Pulp Fiction fan, and we wanted to, tell you how much we enjoy that movie," whatever. So when it's engaging with you, it's engaging about real things that are happening in your social media. It's not one of those, "Hey, we saw a company name, and then we see that you do whatever, and we'd like to work with you because we can get you money." No. So it's a real, not only through LinkedIn, but through social media and emails, to where it really builds that relationship up to 15 points. And we get about 150 leads per month. And out of those, we're seeing the percentages I mentioned, which was like a 94% inbox, 22% of people actually scheduling, and 34% callback, which
you don't get a lot of people. There aren't a lot of people who I know for myself, right? When I use AI every day, I do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times someone might send me something, or I send someone something, and it is super obvious, like, oh, this guy didn't write this. Right. This was written by an AI bot. So is there ever a case of people kind of seeing through, or have you guys kind of figured out a way around that, to where, because that's hard, right? Is that human element to make it sound or read like it was written by an actual person.
Exactly.
Have you guys kind of figured that out, cracked that code as well?
That is the secret sauce on how do you make it sound human and not robotic and not be able to spot it. There are certain things that, and also remember, you and I are into AI. You go into Facebook and I'm sure you see 32 little ads about AI. These people, yeah, in the first 5 minutes, the guy that just got T-boned, they're not into AI. If they're a plumber and they're on their way to a job and somebody hits them, they're not into AI, but even those people who are having a very difficult time to tell what it is, because it's dynamic and it changes the structure. So it's not like you get the same email just with like fill in the blank your daughter's name.
Okay, so it's not a template. It's real specific and customized.
Right.
Cool. Very cool. How much teaching did you have to do with this AI to kind of get it there? Because that's what I find with I use ChatGPT pretty regularly, and I'm teaching my ChatGPT every single day.
Yeah, it's like your skillet. You have to season it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't mean salt. I mean, hours and hours of flame.
Yeah.
So yes, I've been working for years on even though AI has been fairly new, we've had this technology for a while, especially the SEO and now the cold email campaigns, which are giving us some amazing results. So, and that's a difference. Same thing. I mean, I can hand you a Lamborghini and I can hand a professional race car driver a Lamborghini, and the results we're going to get with that engine and that car is completely different. Somebody may wrap themselves around the tree. The other person might win a gold cup, So AI is a tool or it's an engine, but you have to know how to prompt it. You have to know how to feed it. You have to know how to season it. And that's what we've spent. And that's what we're focusing only with law firms, because we have that already down to a science.
Right.
Once we saw that after 2 months, we were able to generate $200,000 for a client and then do it over and over and over again. Now we know the system works because we tried it with several different clients.
Very cool. Love that. So let's talk a little bit about SEO and how you're using AI to optimize that. Like for me, SEO is almost, I know it's a 3-letter phrase, but it's almost like a 4-letter word for me. Yeah. It's almost like, oh, Jesus Christ, SEO. Because no one really knows how to. So many people are like, yeah, I'm an SEO expert. I'm like, really? You're an you and everybody else are an SEO expert. What have you guys? So how are you utilizing AI to kind of optimize that? And you're talking about some super fast results. Talk to me a little bit about how you guys have done that.
Yeah, there's there's a number of issues with search engine optimization. One of them is that people say are experts. Most of them are not. And then you can never tell what they're doing, because if you don't know anything about SEO, they're like, oh yeah, we're optimizing your site. They're like, looks the same to me. What did you? Oh, fill in the background. Well, as you know, on a website, you have headlines. You have H1, H2, H3, H4. So you should only have one H1. Most people, especially when they are using ClickFunnels or Go High Level, which we're experts in, they make everything an H1. So the bots look at it and go, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to ignore you. Or they have a lot of redirects. So we fix all of those issues. We fix broken links. But the main thing that we do is we work on the schema or the schema, depending on, potato.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what gets the really quick results. But we also optimize everything. And it's not just about search engine optimization. Have you heard of AIO or GEO or AEO?
AIO sounds familiar.
EIO. Oh, no, that's another one. So AIO is AI search optimization. GEO is generative engine optimization. And AEO is answer engine optimization. Okay. So when you go to ChatGPT and say, who's the best law firm, our clients come up. Because not only are we working on search engine optimization for Google and for other web crawlers, we're working on AI optimization. So when people are asking questions about AI, and that's how we got one of our clients, she called me and goes, look, when the biggest firm tried to hire me, and when they search who's the best salesperson for whatever industry he was in, I've been in the industry for 17 years and I wasn't any one of the 8. She goes, ironically, one of the 8 was one of my clients because my information was on their page and they found that. So he asked me, look, I don't do this. Will you team up with me? So she was really upset that she wasn't anywhere and she's the one that everybody goes to, right? So by optimizing that, we're going to start with her in August. And by optimizing the AI optimization, then she's not going to have that issue anymore. And when you do that, you notice now that when you go to Google, the reason people don't use Google as much now is because I go and ask a question, I get 7 different answers.
Yeah.
And when I click on one of them And then I close it, 7 more come up. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And well, I mean, I find that can happen with AI too, with ChatGPT, where if you ask it for a list and then you ask for the same list, it might give you different names. But I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, but AI is going to replace. It is a search engine now. It's going to replace search engines. It's just much more focused and giving you a much more focused result when you're asking it something. But I mean that's happening now already.
Yeah, that's
right?
when you go to Google right now, the first thing you see is AI answering. Then you have the paid ads, and then you have the other people.
Right.
I mean, back when we owned nutritioncertification.com. We were number 1 on every search engine that you look for. And then Panda came and we were page 3. And now you can't even find me on page 11. So we're like, so it's not worth it for me to do that because I'm no longer in that business.
Right.
But if I would have dominated, I could probably do it in just a couple of months, if not.
So
I might do that just as a case study.
How behind are most small law firms when it comes to like AI optimization?
Oh, most of them, I mean, are still using fax machines, and a lot of them are still having live receptionists, and some don't even have calendaring applications. Like if I want to schedule with them, they have to, okay, are you available Wednesday? I'm like, Wednesday, what time? So a lot of them, I mean, yeah, there's some that are really, really up to date with everything. But the most I've seen them use AI for is for research and not so much for running their day-to-day. Not for replacing receptionists, not for answering questions, not for getting more clients and increasing their income. It's more about handling the busy work.
So we have a lot of law firm owners that watch our show, that are watching our content, that we work with and that we talk with on the reg. Let's give them, law firm owners, 3 simple automations that they can put in place themselves this week. Just the simple stuff that can start to make a difference in their day-to-day.
Yeah, the simplest automation is to have a calendaring system, right? But not just a calendar like Calendly, one that schedules the appointment, gives the client the option of the date and time, sends them the Zoom link or whatever link it is, or sends them the address where they're going to meet, follows up 6 hours before the appointment, 1 hour before, 30 minutes before. If it's a Zoom meeting, 10 minutes before. Mm-hmm. If it's an in-house meeting, how long does it usually take to get to your office? Then maybe 45 minutes before. So that's a simple one. But the one that would most likely give them the best bang for their buck would be either the cold email or the search engine optimization. But if not, just an AI receptionist that answers the phone and can transfer it to any number of phone numbers they want. If it's an emergency, you want to transfer to a specific number. If somebody has, a slip and fall injury, what do you tell them? If somebody got T-boned, like you said, by a truck, what do you tell them? If somebody got fired with undue process, what do you tell them? So as long as they have already those things that most likely the receptionist is doing, we can have the AI do it at a much higher level of accuracy. And they never tick off a client, and they're never tick off, and they're never mad, and they're never upset, and they always show up to work. And they cost a fraction because they work 24/7,
right?
But they cost a fraction of what a regular employee would run you.
Okay, those are your 3 tips, everybody. You guys need to put into place. You need to make it happen, and call you guys if they need help getting that into place for sure.
Let me add one more. The easiest one would be to put an AI chatbot on their website that's trained to answer any questions that's on the website, and also a phone number. Because we had a client that people would call them and go, "Where are you located?" And like, "Wait a minute, where did you get my number?" "I went to your website. My address was right next to my phone number that you just called." "Yes, so where are you located?" So the AI can answer all those questions, right? So so maybe phone receptionist, chatbot on their website, and then of course automations for their day-to-day stuff.
So where are we with AI, Lucho, in I don't want to say 5 years. I want to say like in 2 years. Where do you think we are?
They're actually building robots right now that are AI that are going to be in-home assistants. So remember, I don't know how old you are, but when I was a kid, they had the Jetsons and they had the robots. Yeah. They cooked for you and did everything. Well, they already have it.
Right? Was it Rosie?
Yeah. They're only $30,000. So that if you have an elderly parent, instead of paying for home care, maybe you have an in-house robot that is CPR trained, that it's and trained to give them the medications, and it's trained to call emergency and say in case something happens. So that's one of the cases that they're really working into right now. That's already available as we speak. When it comes to AI, if you don't incorporate AI into your business, within 5 to 7 years, you most likely will be out of business. Not because AI will replace you, but because firms using AI are going to outmarket you, and nobody else is ever going to find you. So that's the issue with AI. It's doubling and tripling its capacity faster than we ever thought.
Right. And so that's probably less than 2 years. Then you think within 2 years, that's the people who don't jump. Like, I feel like and we use it all the time, we're behind the 8 ball on so much of this stuff. Right. And it's changing, and there's new stuff coming in so fast. It's really hard to kind of keep up. Right. How do we do that?
Yeah, they're making entire commercials with AI that don't involve any actors, and they look like real people. They can now take let's say you have a vineyard, right? And you have a hall for having receptions, and it's empty. We can take a picture of that, give it to AI, and say, fill this with people and make it look like a party, and it'll do that, right? So here's the issue. If you're an attorney, just like when I worked in the medical field, if you're a cancer specialist, you specialize in cancer. You don't have time to go learn about AI.
Right.
There may be an AI bot later that can cure cancer or can, spot cancer cells and do amazing things. But as a surgeon or as a law firm, you do your thing. Even a plumber, they are interested in plumbing. They're not going to go and learn about AI. You can't. We're in it 24/7, and that's what we do for our clients. We take all that burden on ourselves to learn it and implement it to where they get the results they want without. I mean, let's face it, you don't have to learn how to put together your car, but you rely on getting in it every day, starting and getting to work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we do. We provide the vehicle made for you. You tell us where you're driving to, and we program it to get you there.
So with services like Perplexity and ChatGPT and things like that, you're paying a subscription service for that, a subscription cost for that every month, right? Is there going to be a point where advertising makes its way into those types of AI services where, they're like Google? You don't pay for Google search. The ads pay Google. Is that going to happen with ChatGPT and Perplexity and Grok and all these other ones? Is advertising going to kind of take the place of that to where it's just accessible to everybody? Do you see that coming, or what do you think?
I don't see that coming because the issue is that AI is actually a race to the bottom, meaning price-wise, right? Because people are starting to say, I'm going to charge you less and less and less for doing this.
Right.
But remember, in life, you get what you pay for. I can go to a top attorney and get the best results I want, or I can go to the attorney in the TV that his movements don't match his mouth. I'm here for you, and I'm looking at this guy wants me to hire him. We're here to make you better, and I'm like, no. So, yeah, there's always going to be that price variance, but I really don't believe that advertising is going to be the main place. So that's why Google is scrambling right now, because the way Google makes money is by those paid ads in the top.
Yeah.
And the rest of us suffer unless you want to pay for clicks, right? There's attorneys that pay for mesothelioma. They pay up to $10,000 for a client. And so if you want to buy the keyword mesothelioma, it's super expensive. But they make, I don't know how many million when, because I think there's a $30 billion stipend or whatever there for those patients or victims, I guess.
Everybody wants a piece of that pie for sure.
Yeah.
Man, I could talk about this stuff with you all day long. It's so fascinating, and there's ethical issues with it that we could get into. I'm not going to do that today, but there's so much to get into with this stuff. I need to have you back on, Lucho. Really have enjoyed the conversation. So let people know out there where they can find you, where they can find What Works Academy, how to get in touch with you guys. Let people know what you got going on.
Yeah, so they can go to whatworksacademy.com because we do what works. And there we have a link where you can actually schedule a call. You can schedule a demo. We have links to different AI employees and so on. Our search engine optimization, that's something that we actually want to schedule an appointment with you to see if you qualify for that. Same thing with a cold email. There's specifics, based on how the program works. The cold email works for high ticket clients. So attorneys are perfect.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to use that to sell my $500 nutrition certification, that's not a fit. But the nutrition certification is a fit for the search engine optimization. So we could do either one or both. So we like to speak with people and make sure that we have the right solution for them. And if we don't, we refer them to someone who does. So.
Right. Awesome, man. Well, Lucho, thanks so much for coming on today. Really appreciate you giving me some time. I'm going to have you back on soon.
All right.
We'll continue the discussion. Maybe we'll get into some different AI topics and kind of where things are going. If you are watching live out there right now, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you're watching the recorded version of that, we appreciate that too. Make sure you give us a follow on YouTube or anywhere on social media. So this has been Partnership for Profits, brought to you by LeDuc Entertainment. If you need help with your podcast, if you need help with your social media content creation, just brand building in general, we're your guys. And then when we get to that point where we want to start getting that information out, we're going to connect you with Lucho, and he's going to get your SEO up and running and whatnot. So thank you guys for tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow with more episodes of Partnership for Profits. Lucho, thanks a lot, buddy. And we will see you all soon.
Thanks for having me.
Got it, buddy.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.